before that grime is quite the thing for this man. It's not quite Stuart Flinders' cup of tea. He's more of a Mozart man, I think, and we have always considered him, I have to say, to be one of the more cultured members of our team. But tonight, sadly, we are saying farewell to Stuart after almost 30 years on this programme. Our chief reporter, Dave Guest, was actually the person who hired him, so he's been looking at some of Stuart's best bits.
It's 1991. Bryan Adams has created the most successful earworm of the new decade. And there's a new face on Northwest Tonight.
Air Tour's decision to launch its own airline is regarded within the travel industry as a bold move.
Stuart Flinders was to become the programme's longest-serving reporter. But wait, oh, Dave, you've been chief reporter for the best part of a century, I hear you say. Yes, that's true, but before I started standing up in front of the camera and reading out loud for a living, I was actually the boss here for a short time, and I hired Stuart Flinders. Yep, poached him from Granada TV, as it happens, and he turned out to be a really good buy.
Whichever way you look at it, this is a tragic story.
Whether he was covering the top story of the day.
As the police were issuing their statement, Dr. Shipman was appearing before Tameside magistrates on the new charges.
Or turning his hand to the end of programme feature.
Who's this dressed by?
Let him have a look. Jay Taylor. Doesn't mean anything to me.
Jay Taylor. Brown shoes, not black, with this coloured colour suit, because it's too much of a contrast. But aside from all
apart from that,
you look great.
Tonight we're just outside Kendal at a place called Scar. I can't remember what it's called.
Never one to be phased, he wasn't going to let Liam Gallagher put him off his stride.
What do you reckon? Have you got any proper questions?
And he did know the right questions to ask, actually.
Just wondering whether you remember the Derby match in 1967 at Goodison, FA Cup, 5th round.
Yeah, I do. I played in it.
Did you?
I was goalkeeper for Liverpool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a stroke of luck, me meeting you.
And earlier this year, a chance to do something so many of us have dreamed of.
But before we go any further, Roger, Annabelle, I've never done this before. Let's see if it works. Hello, Manchester Arena.
Well, he's not embarking on an arena tour, but Stuart is moving on to a new chapter in his life. The viewers will miss his cleverly observed reports, and his friends and colleagues will miss his calm, reassuring manner during even the most intense newsroom maelstrom. And over all those years, he hasn't changed one bit.
Have a good afternoon.
See, Trini and Susanna couldn't improve perfection, could they?
It's like watching your life pass before you, isn't it? Blimey. What happened to me hair? It's a lot thinner now and a lot greyer.
You've got a full head, Stuart. Most of us are jealous. Is it nice to look back over such a career?
Well, it is. I mean, you know, some stories you forget, you do so many, but some are bound to stick on your mind. I mean, the trial of Harold Shipman, Britain's biggest serial killer, the terror attacks in Manchester, Warrington and so on. And these, they're big stories to us, but of course they change people's lives, and it's been a privilege to be able to tell their stories to our viewers.
And Tommy Lawrence will be forever associated with you after that chance meeting.
Wasn't that amazing? And that went online, and of course it went around the world, and within 24 hours it had been translated into Malay and German, and you know, American newspapers on about it. It was amazing.
The one thing I've always admired in the 10 years or so that I've worked with you is you're never afraid to ask a difficult question. And I remember when you interviewed Tyson Fury, you were probably just outside of the range of a jab when he was having his slightly troubled time, but you didn't pull any punches in the interview.
Yeah, I remember when that went out, all my colleagues were saying, oh, you took your chances there. And I looked at it back and I thought, yeah, I was quite close to him, wasn't I? But, you know, to be fair, he answered the question.
How's the job changed?
Well, when I first started, no mobile phones. If you finish your job, you had to ring the office on a call box. You had to try and find the call box to ring them. No email, of course. We had secretaries writing letters for people. It's changed dramatically. And the tapes, I mean, we used to use, film had just finished, and we used these huge tapes the size of bin lids, and now we use a little card that people put in their cameras. It's amazing.
The technology is remarkable, isn't it? And you know, many people, lots of people already emailing, tweeting to say how much they'll miss you and to say nice things. You also have had a kind of a parallel career because you work on Radio 3, so you really do know your music.
Well, I presented live concerts on Radio 3 for 10 years now, and that's been great because, of course, I've been paid for something I love. I love classical music. But But, you know, Northwest Tonight is my real home. You get to know a lot of our viewers. As you know, people stop you in the street and they say, we feel like you're a member of our family. And there's not many jobs for journalists where people will say that to you. It really is quite a privilege. And, of course, I really miss all my friends here. You know, we've all known each other for so long. We know a lot about each other. We get through some pretty bad times sometimes. But it is a family. And I'm sure we'll all stay in touch.
I'm sure we will, but you will be missed. I can hear Julie, our director, who's almost sobbing in my ear at the moment.
I noticed Guesty managed to get into my piece quite a lot, didn't he?
Yes. He did a great job putting it together. Stuart, everyone wishes you all the very, very best. And thank you.
Thanks,
Let's get the weather forecast. Here's Owen.